You know, bro, the majority of people are super fucking ungrateful, bro. Super ungrateful. A lot of people, they get annoyed and pissed off for small things in life. If the weather changes from sunny to cloudy, they're like, oh, my day is ruined. No. It's like, what the fuck? It's the weather. Like nothing bad happened. Like, well, what happened? The weather changed. Okay, boo-hoo. Why the fuck are you crying about it? Like, why are you bitching about the weather? A lot of people are going to be like, well, that could ruin a person's day. Why is it ruining your day? Look, listen, if you lose your arm, or if your mom dies, or if your dad dies, and you tell me that ruined my day, okay, makes sense. It makes sense. Your mom died, your dad died. That ruined your day, okay, that makes perfect logical sense. But the fucking weather? It's like the fuck? Or they'll be watching like a sports team. They'll be watching like soccer. The World Cup's going on right now. And they'll be watching soccer. And they'll watch their soccer team lose. And they'll be like, no, my entire month is ruined. I'm like, your entire month is ruined? What the fuck are you talking about? And they're like, my soccer team lost. I'm like, the fuck? Why is your entire month ruined because your soccer team lost? You're not even in the fucking team. The team doesn't even know who the fuck you are. It's like, what the fuck? It's crazy how small things in life make people so ungrateful. And most people don't even realize that they're ungrateful. Most people, to them, it's normal to complain about the small things in life, not knowing that when something bad actually happens to them, they're not going to be able to control themselves. If you're crying about your soccer team losing, imagine when your mom dies, or when your dad dies, or if you lose an arm, or you lose an eye. Those are actual tragic things that you should be complaining about. And I feel like a sign of being ungrateful is complaining. If you're constantly complaining about small bullshit things, you're an ungrateful piece of shit. It's the truth. Now, do I catch myself doing this sometimes? Yes. I try to prevent it, but I'm only human. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I'll be chilling. I'll be driving, and some stupid guy or lady will get in my way and damn near crash my car. And I'm like, you stupid fuck. I damn near want to curse the girl out or the guy out, and I'm fucking honking my fucking horn. I'm like, you fucking piece of shit. I'm pissed off because I almost crashed my car. Well, they almost hit my car. And I'm pissed off. And then, a few minutes later, I'm calmed down and I reflect. I'm like, why did I get so mad? Like, did she almost crash my car? Or did he almost crash my car? I'm like, yeah. Did anything happen though? No. Should I be grateful that nothing bad happened? Yes. So why the fuck was I bitching about it? Even if they would have hit my car, part of me is kind of like, obviously right now, it's easy for me to say like, oh yeah, you should forgive them for hitting your car. But realistically, even if they do hit my car, as long as I'm alive and my car isn't completely wrecked, I shouldn't be too pissed off. Like, it shouldn't ruin my entire fucking day or week or month. I mean, of course, I'm going to be slightly, angry. But I shouldn't, say, oh, it's going to ruin my entire week. My car is messed up. It's got a little scratch on it. Unless your car is completely fucking wrecked and unfixable, what the fuck are you bitching about? And you know what? Another sign of ungratefulness that I see from a lot of people is when they say a prayer. Now, I know I may get a lot of flack from this because a lot of people think that, saying a prayer is you having to ask for things. That's what people classify a prayer as. A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to pray, I'm going to ask for things. To me, a prayer should be you thanking God for the things that He's already blessed you with. It shouldn't be you asking for things. Now, I'm not saying I've never asked for anything. What I'm saying, though, is that you shouldn't make the prayer, and especially not every prayer, about asking for things. There's no point in asking for things every single prayer. God knows what He wants to bless you with, and God knows what He's not going to bless you with. God knows what's going to happen in your life. There's really no point in asking Him for a lot of things. Now, I'm not saying you can't pray for the health of a family member if they get into a car crash and there's a 5% chance of them living. I'm not saying that. And you definitely should pray for them. What I'm saying, though, is that the majority of the time, when you say a prayer, you especially want to start off your prayer. I'm not trying to tell people how to pray. But all I'm saying is that when you say a prayer, you should probably try to thank God for the things you already have. You should look at God as, I'm not comparing him to your friend, but let's say you have a friend, right? Let's say you have a friend named Chris, and you're telling Chris all these things that you want, but you never once thank him for the things that he already gave you. Imagine how that's going to make your friend Chris feel. He's going to be like, why the fuck is this dude, asking me for all these things, but he never once thanks me. He's not grateful for it. He always complains about bullshit. And that's how God's going to view you. If you, during your prayers, you just constantly ask for things, instead of telling him thank you for the things you already have, he's not going to want to bless you with more things. So that's another sign of ungratefulness in my view. If you're not grateful for the things you currently have, even the basic things, having a bed, having a home, having enough money to buy food, having your family members alive, having your arms, your legs, your heart, being able to breathe, walk, sleep, shower, water, food, the basic things in life. If you're not grateful for those things, to me, you're a fucking selfish, ungrateful piece of shit. That's what it is. And a lot of people are like this. Like I said, being ungrateful it's not a good trait to have. Not a good trait to have. And I think a lot of people on the planet today are ungrateful, including myself. I catch myself being ungrateful sometimes. I try my best not to, but I'm only human. You know, everybody's ungrateful to some extent. But there's a lot of people who are extremely fucking ungrateful. Bro, if you can walk, if you can see, if you can hear, if you have water, if your family members are alive, that's enough. You know, combine that with a bed and a house and having a car and having a job, you know, you're set. As long as you have the fundamentals, be grateful, bro. Be grateful. Because believe me, I'm not trying to get political, but if you've paid attention to these wars that have gone on in the past couple years, bro, you do not want to be in those fucking war zones. You do not want to be in a fucking war zone where a drone is fucking flying over your head and there's a chance that you might die by it via a drone strike. You know, you could be in that situation. You could be in a hospital bed because you got into a car crash and you lost both your legs. And I was telling my brother this actually the other day because he had broken his arm about 6 months ago. He broke his arm when he was wrestling. And I was telling him, I was like, you know what? There's actually a few pros to breaking your arm. And he was like, yeah, like what? And I was like, well, now when something bad happens to you in the future, you can always look back and say, okay, at least I'm not in that fucking hospital bed ready to get for surgery for this broken arm. They're going to open me up. They're going to fucking put screws in my fucking arm. Now I'm going to have to wait 4 to 5 months for it to recover. It's going to be hell. Yes, it's going to be hell. But at least now in the future, let's say your tire pops or the weather changes from fucking sunny to cloudy or it starts raining when you thought it was going to be a sunny day. Or let's say even your boss fires you. I think you'd rather go through those things than break your arm again. And he looked at me, he's like, probably, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, I told him this about a week ago. He was like, yeah, I mean, probably. I definitely don't want to break my arm again. I'm like, yes, that's a good thing. Keep that feeling of not wanting to break your arm again. Because that's gonna make you more grateful in the future. Because now you have an event that you can reflect back on to make you more grateful. If, let's say he injures his finger and he gets a sprain on his finger. That's going to last him like 2 weeks. And he's like, fuck, I can't play football anymore. I'm like, bro, at least you didn't break your arm, right? He's going to be like, well, yeah, that's true. So it's not going to be that bad. He's going to be more grateful. He's going to be like, okay, at least I'm grateful that I at least didn't break my finger or at least didn't break my arm. You know what I mean? At least I just, it's a little sprain. It is what it is. 1 or 2 weeks and I'm back at it, So when bad things happen to you, it's actually a good thing. Whenever you go through bad things, try to find the worst moment of your life. The worst, absolute worst moment of your life. Think about it. Get that feeling of, damn, this was so fucking horrible. Like, it was hell. I do not want to relive it. Get that feeling and compare it to your current feeling of, let's say, the weather changes. And you're like, okay, at least I'm not in that situation. At least it didn't break my arm again. So that's one of the best ways to be grateful is looking back at one of the worst days of your life and saying to yourself, at least I'm not going through that anymore. And believe me, God will bless you with many more things if you're grateful for the things you already have. And like I said, I'm not trying to tell people how to pray. But when you are going to pray, you should at least try to include some thank yous in there. And thank God for the things He's blessed you with. Because it's very easy to ask for things. But a lot of people forget to say thank you for the things that God has already blessed them with. Be more grateful. Because a lot of people are ungrateful. Including myself. I catch myself doing this all the time. We drink water like we're going to have it forever. Which may not be the case. It may not be the case. One day you might find yourself on a deserted island with no fucking water. And you're going to be fucking pissed off at yourself for all those times that you were ungrateful when you drank that water. Oh, this water's too hot. Or this water's too cold. Oh, I need it at room temperature. Shut your fucking mouth, bro. It's water. Just drink it. So yeah, try not to be ungrateful. Try to be more grateful. Try to show gratitude to God for the things you already have. Be grateful for the good and the bad. And yeah, I mean, be more grateful. Be grateful because, believe me, the amount of bad things that can actually happen to you in your life will show you just how ungrateful you were in the past. If your mom dies, or when your dad dies, or when if a sibling of yours dies, or if you break your arm and you lose it, or if you lose your leg, or if you get into a car crash, your car gets wrecked, anything like that, anything that can't be recuperated, like a family member dying, anything that can be reversed, that's going to show you what true ungratefulness is. When you look back and you're like, damn, I should have just enjoyed the day when my neighbor rammed into my fence and I just had to call the guy to fix it and it cost me $100. I should have just enjoyed that day. I should have just enjoyed it. Because right now I'm going through hell. My mom just died. I should have just enjoyed these previous days that my mom was still alive. Sure, my neighbor rammed into my fence, but it is what it is. At least my mom didn't die. In the future, when your mom does die, you're going to look at the fence day as one of the best days of your life. Why? Because your mom was still alive.